to be completely honest with you, as far as like, I mean, we completely stopped distilling spirits for right now. We're in 100% hand sanitizer production. Basically, we've been very fortunate to be able to produce hand sanitizer and keep people employed and the ability to pay our rent another month. I mean, it was, we were really worried for a while. Luckily, we were able to kind of do something like this, which is, it's been great for people to be able to come and pick up hand sanitizer from us and be able to order it from us, especially in that first month where it was impossible to find.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are doing that. Hey, Matt, how are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Good.
I mean, well is an interesting word. It's going it's going as well as it can be right now.
It's going to be a whole different world, and we don't really know what are people going to want to come back out and go to restaurants and bars right away. Obviously, we're probably looking at months worth of different social distancing guidelines that will still be in place for bars and restaurants. I'd love to see them be able to open. And I mean, it's you see it all the time. Okay, they're allowed for takeout right now, and people go in, they're getting it for takeout, and they're going and sitting on the curb, everyone right next to each other eating. Yet you can't sit at a table, even if you follow social distancing guidelines. It's I mean, they could still stay open, have half the tables, still employ a lot more people than they're able to right now, and help and stay in business.
So, okay. So one, this is not El Encanto pineapple, rum, and ginger beer in my glass. It's just ginger beer, right? So I'm just
okay.
I was like, it's 11:30. I can make a drink, right? It's fine.
You know what? All rules about that have changed too.
I was like, I gotta drink something. I gotta drink one of your products. So let's switch the conversation to just Florida Cane, what you guys are doing in the market, how you've switched your business model right now to help the community. And let's just open it up there. And maybe we could start by, when did you guys realize that this situation was serious and that it was going to affect your business? And when did you guys decide to make that switch to sanitizer?
Well, really just being an Ybor, we saw the second COVID kind of started and tourism just kind of came to a complete halt. People stopped flying in. It's our busiest month of the year. I mean, March is for anybody who lives in Florida, March is the most fun month. I mean, there's festivals every weekend. Streets are closed down in Ybor for different festivals on the weekends. Curtis Hickson is always has something great going on. There's music festivals and everything was canceled within that kind of 1 week. And Ybor just completely died. I mean, we were doing about less than 10% of the volume that we would normally do on a Saturday or Sunday. And then, within 1 week of that and the restaurants being forced to close and us being forced to close as well, there's a lot of uncertainty. Lee, Matt, and myself, we sat down and tried to figure out how we were going to stay in business, because sure, we have good sales still on the off-premise side of the business, but with all of our friends and family and on-premise having to close down, and a lot of them are liquidating their inventory, and we're trying to all we could do is distribution sales at this point. We weren't even really supposed to be open for bottle sales, but we decided to close down right away, just because we didn't know what was going to happen. It was slow, and then also just to kind of protect our employees while we tried to figure out how bad we could get hit. But then from there, we had the TTB, which is the governing authority over all distilleries in the United States, kind of threw us a little bit of a lifeline with the ability to make hand sanitizer. They approved if we make a hand sanitizer according to the World Health Organization's recipe, which we were able to do fairly quickly, we were able to make it and sell it. So it was something that right away, I mean, nobody was able to find hand sanitizer everywhere. Still, it's very, very difficult to find.
Yeah, I can't find any still. So yeah.
Well, come by and get some.
I will.
We want to make sure, and we've been delivering a bunch. Matt's actually been in there pretty much every single day, dealing with all of the online orders and pickups. We're still trying to follow social distancing guidelines for all of that. So we're having specific pickup time spots for them, but we're able to do the little 8-ounce containers, some 16-ounce pump containers. We were doing some half gallons, and we're distributing to, we're actually selling a lot to a distributor that does a lot of essential businesses. So, you know, how you go into a manufacturing plant or something like that, and they have the hand sanitizer things on the walls. So they service all those, and they were, I mean, all these plants and hospitals were running out. So we were able to kind of supply them, so they're able to go and supply thousands of different customers throughout the Tampa Bay area. So that's been our major like kind of large scale production partner, and then we've been selling the smaller bottles to everybody in the community off our website, and then we're actually shipping them nationwide for everybody too. So it's been great for us who have friends and family out of state. We've been able to get them what they need as well.
Yeah, so it was like, I mean, we realized, like, I guess it was, you know, like Pat said, probably around St. Patrick's Day, when, like, you know, that the St. Patrick's Day parade got canceled, and then the Gasparilla Music Festival, and then we found out from the Pride people that was getting canceled. So that was kind of like, that was sort of the moment when we realized we had to do something, make a big change. So once we kind of figured out how to like execute the formula, like where to source the stuff, we kind of put together like a pretty rough supply chain, and then stood up this website with the system for fulfilling orders and like scheduling pickup times. So we're there Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to about 1, and then Tuesdays and Fridays we just started doing an evening pickup too.
Okay.
So that's 4 to 6. So we never have more than 5 people scheduled at once, so we don't have a cluster of people. We have, you know, just kind of the side door open, and like we have everything prepared when you come, and then you just pick it up and go. And we are also, in addition, managing to sell some booze, which is nice. We have everything discounted right now, and then we're working with Sonder Social Club and Living Room.
Yeah.
So they're gonna start making some to-go cocktails, because, you know, we're not really positioned to like be dealing with fresh produce or anything. So yeah, they're gonna be making us some bottled cocktail mixes that we'll be able to sell off the website as well. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were doing that. That's great.
Yeah. So that should be fun, and they're gonna be like, you know, it'll be like a cocktail for 4. So we'll be doing like some mules and a banana infused old fashioned for our pineapple rum. So that'll be really cool, and that should be next week. So it has been really nice to see that people, I mean, people are super appreciative that we're able to get this out to the community, especially you know, we've been donating to a lot of really cool causes. The Immokalee Workers Coalition, they deal with a very like at-risk population that mostly migrant agricultural workers, and then Metro Inclusive Health, and a handful of others. So yeah, I mean, we're pulling off a portion of everything we make to give to, you know, essential workers, and but it's cool. Like, I feel like the kind of goodwill we've received from the community, and people still want to drink and hang out, just in a different way.
You haven't seen that people want to drink more alcohol than they ever have before?
I haven't. That hasn't affected me personally, so
I'm sure, Matt. I think we've all put on our our COVID-15.
Yeah.
Do you see the online ordering of spirits and wine becoming more prominent?
Yes.
Right? Like,
absolutely.
I think we all kind of realize that there are some things that are not going to change. And I think one of those areas that's going to continue to grow is this online area of ordering your food and your drink via some sort of app, right?
I mean, it's we're getting in the habit of doing it. And once we get in the habit of it, it doesn't mean we're going to stop just because, I mean, we might decrease the amount of times we use something like that, but um, I think it's all this stuff is habit forming. I mean, everything's going to change. I mean, look at what we're doing right now with a Zoom meeting. I mean, do you think we're just going to stop doing these afterwards? A lot of times we're going to realize that it was, okay, maybe this is a little bit easier than the three of us, who all live in different parts of Tampa Bay meeting up for, if it's just something we can do over Zoom for 20 minutes, and then you can get on another Zoom meeting with somebody else. Or I think a lot of these new habits that we're forming are gonna stay intact. And I think home delivery and using different types of technology and being able to order online and even being able to go pick up after ordering online, I think a lot of that's gonna just be habit forming and become almost the new norm.
So how has COVID then changed your personal business model from Florida Cane?
Well, we've changed our entire business model because we're not even making liquor right now. And it was kind of
go back to that.
Oh, absolutely. We're not going to go away from it completely, but this is something that we don't know how long we'll be doing the hand sanitizer. It's something that I don't think we're ever going to stop doing. If you think about, I mean, hand sanitizer is something that we've always had, but it was always just, I guess, underutilized. It was something where if you had a hand sanitizer station in a lobby of a restaurant, you might have had in the past, pre-COVID, you may have had 2 to 3% of people who would walk past that take advantage of it and use it. Right now, you would have 100% of people doing it, and that's another habit forming thing that we're just going to be, now that we're all conscientious of what we touch and really just germs in general. We're always going to be carrying around hand sanitizer with us going forward, and it's just something that's going to be habit forming. And because of that, I think it's going to take a long time for the Purells of the world to kind of catch up and with their production of it. So then I think there's going to be a niche for us too, because we're actually working on right now we just follow the World Health Organization's formula for the hand sanitizer, but we're getting some others approved where we're going to have some aloe gels in them. They're going to be a little bit more boutique. It'll be kind of more of a boutique brand. We're looking at some different scents. We may even incorporate some of our like our Plant City strawberry
I was just going there. I was like, are you going to have Plant City straw? I was just thinking.
Well, you know what? We want to do that, but then some idiot's going to drink it, and then we're going to get sued.
They're probably going to be.
So it's something that we'll definitely. But no, and that would be because we can actually pull the essences out of the flavoring that we use, and if we could find a way to put it in, the hand sanitizer and have those as some different kind of scented versions, especially when we add the aloe gels, it's going to be a lot less harsh on your hands because at this point, I mean, it's just a straight hand sanitizer. So as we kind of develop some new formulas for it and come up with some new scents, we might start doing that, and it'll be something that we sell on our website and out of our tasting room for a while because it's something that people are going to need and want.
I think that's so great that you guys switched your business platform. I mean, one of the things that keeps coming up in conversations that I'm having with people is local. I was just I did an interview with the gentleman that makes Bruno Marino Sweet Vermouth, which is a vermouth that we carry, and he's in Philadelphia, but he was talking to me about how he's seeing more and more people really care about local right now because they're this kind of sense of community. We're all in this together. This feeling of community and camaraderie is starting to really take hold, maybe more so than it ever has. I'm interested to know, have you seen that switch as well in order of people like really recognizing Florida Cane as a local Tampa leading spirit company? And do you continue to think that's something important for people to recognize? And do you see that kind of becoming more important as this continues?
Oh, without a doubt. And I mean, it's been happening for the last few years. We've noticed a huge difference. We were one of the first distilleries in the state to open, and I believe we were the third distillery, craft distillery in the state to open. And in 2012, when we did, there really wasn't. I mean, craft beer was was kind of in the
Right.
kind of in the peak of its boom, I would say. But people didn't think about local spirits. People didn't really care about them. Liquor stores had no interest in carrying anything local. It took years, and granted, now we have, I believe, 70 something distilleries in the state. So now we're becoming something where liquor stores are setting aside, sections for local spirits, and it's something that we couldn't have dreamed of. I mean, back in 2012 and 13, I remember having some large liquor store chains just kind of look at us like, why would we need it? I mean, if they weren't because their customers weren't coming in and asking for it, which is completely understandable.
Sure.
But now they have customers coming in and asking for it, and they're expected to have local sections and carry local spirits. So I mean, the consumers have really been on the forefront of that, because now the awareness is out there that there are local distilleries, and they're trying to seek out our brands, and it's been great. In the last 2 years, we've seen it more than ever. Matt can definitely attest to how kind of consumer demand has helped his world in being out there in the field selling.
Matt?
Absolutely. Like, people are seeking it out, like Pat said, it started with the beer, but like even before that, like when people came somewhere, they wanted to eat like whatever food was from that place, and then and wine, and then it beer kind of opened up the door. But like we really have seen that, like people like coming in from other places do want to like experience like what's being produced here, and local people too. Like, and I think this experience is just gonna like bring the community together in a lot of ways, especially like the hospitality and the food and bev space. So I think this is definitely, we're going to come out of this as like a tighter and stronger community. It's going to look different a little bit, but I do think, and like, I mean, that's been the response. Like when people come and pick up the hand sanitizer or call on the phone, like they, at least half of the people I talk to say like, well, we just want to support local businesses. So it's huge to hear that people are still like, in the face of this, kind of world altering event, like people are still thinking that way. Like that's still, entering their thinking. So it's good to hear.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
I think people are thinking that more now than they ever have, is how can I support my local community in whatever way? Because I think we all know there's a really big risk for a lot of these businesses to go out of business.
Tampa Bay has become the amount of local restaurants it's the reason a lot of us like to live here. And we've seen this huge boom over the last decade of just fantastic restaurants and bars opening up. And it's so sad to know that a lot of them are they're in jeopardy. And now we have all of this new investment going into there. We have lots of new restaurants and bars and breweries that have recently opened. It's kind of changed the face of Ybor. Ybor's also changed a lot in bringing in some higher end cocktail bars and restaurants with the opening of Barter House recently, and Zydeco Brewing, and a lot more money being invested in Ybor. And then with the hotel opening up, and then Copper Shaker is supposed to open up. I think it's definitely, it was completely changing the face of Ybor to where people weren't just thinking of Ybor as a place where you go in your early 20s to go to clubs and party. And then, tourists during the day is bringing a lot more locals into Ybor, which has been great.
I love Ybor. I've always loved Ybor, but my husband has a music studio in Ybor. It's just a great area to walk around, and I was really excited, and I still am very excited about the development that's happening there. But like you, I'm a little concerned. I just hope that it doesn't completely halt what was happening in Ybor. I hope we go back to something that felt very similar to the vibe that was starting to really take place there, because that was a very special, and it's always been special, but it was starting to really get to a place where I thought it could really be a successful destination place on many, many fronts. I hope that there's some positives that come out of this too as well. I hate to dwell on just the things that might close, or the stuff that might happen, or the stuff that we're seeing that's, more on the sad side. Like you were talking about, Pat, the way that we innovate right now, I think is really speaking to just who people are in general and humanity, and the fact that no matter what, through all sorts of strife, we continue to be innovators and still find ways to connect with each other, which I think is really great. So in closing, and thank you for your time today, guys, I want to ask you maybe just to touch on a couple things about Florida Cane that maybe not everybody knows, or if you were to try to, maybe the better way to put it is if you were to try to kind of talk about Florida Cane to somebody that really didn't know who you were and had never heard of Florida Cane before, what would be the main things that you would really want to get across in your messaging?
Well, I mean, when we started, our whole philosophy was to make local spirits out of all local ingredients. When we launched in 2012, there weren't really any distilleries in Florida. The only ones that were here were Siesta Key. I think Miami Club Rum was around then too, and that was pretty much it. But we wanted to come up with like a Florida-based spirit. You know, vodka was our entry into the market, and we used sugarcane instead of grain or potatoes or anything, which kind of made it a little bit different. But then we also flavored it with all locally sourced Florida produce. That has been our top-selling line thus far. But a lot of people don't know that we have some other lines as well. We have our El Encanto rum, we have our Tamiami gin, and we have our red drum whiskey. So we do have, we go kind of a different route than a lot of distilleries who kind of name everything after their distillery. We did do 4 separate brands outside of our Florida Cane vodka. We, you know, the El Encanto for our rum brand, the Red Drum for our whiskey line, and then Tamiami Gin, which was based on the Tamiami Trail, which our original distillery was located at the head of.
Oh yeah. Matt, do you care to elaborate on that?
I know. I mean, that's pretty it. Like that's pretty well said. I mean, we have like a really, you know, a pretty big line. We kind of have something for everyone. You know, if you're a rum drinker, I think our El Encanto Silver Rum is some of the best you can get, at least in Florida. But yeah, I mean, like, and just like kind of just as a team, you know, we're like a very small, very dedicated team. And this event has like certainly like brought us together and sort of like proved that. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I like to think of it as it's like real booze made by real people, like for real people, you know? But yeah, I'm just really, really proud of what we've done and how we've adapted, and you know what the future looks like. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting.
I love that. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for spending a little bit of time with me.
I mean, definitely let us know if there's some way we can help out some of the restaurants that you are working with, especially as they start being able to reopen, whether it's limited or anything like that. But if they need some hand sanitizer or something like that in the meantime for their staff, we'd love to help out with stuff like that. We are actually going to be starting this week working with Columbia Restaurant Group, where they can add on a bottle of hand sanitizer to their to-go order.
Okay, perfect.
And we're working on a way to kind of donate the proceeds to like an employee fund or something like that. We're working on something along those lines. But if you have another group that might be interested in doing something like that, we could definitely help them out, at least get them some hand sanitizer so they can stay clean and safe. But you know, also if there's something else that we can do in that realm. I mean, we really don't know when we're going to switch back up into full-scale liquor production. If you are in the area, though, stop by. We have our new still. It's all set up.
Oh, good.
We're just getting the controller installed, and we're going to get that thing going. So that's the most exciting thing we've ever purchased. We're really excited about it. We've got the largest still that will actually fit in that space without bursting through the walls.
For like a kind of silver lining with this is like, so that we got that still, but it's taken us a lot longer to kind of get it fully operational than we thought. So this has almost been a blessing because it gave us a little bit of buffer. And then it's also like really forced us into like re-examining some of our production stuff. So like we've now, because we have to make so much in such a small amount of time with the sanitizer. So like we finally like got the offsite warehouse that we've been talking about getting forever.
Yeah.
We're getting a second bottling line, and like we've really like cut out a lot of the inefficiencies in our production process. When we do get up and going again, it's going to be a whole new game for us. And two, like, you know, we've really like refined like the online ordering and the website. Like, it's just stuff that we'd always talked about doing, but hadn't really kind of, it's always been like a little further down the list. So that's actually been kind of a positive out of this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
we have to do like a maybe some type of like virtual tour or something when we do get that still up and going.
Yeah,
that could be cool.
I would love to do something like that. All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys. We'll talk soon. Hopefully in person next time.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.